Hello everybody, my name is Maff, and today we are going to analyze some of the world record attempts over on GeoTips. Who am I? I am a GeoGuessr YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and one of the editors for GeoTips. I was also the original curator of the world record sheet back when it was a Google Doc, and I do edit GeoTips, I add countries to GeoTips, and I verify records for GeoTips. Because of that, I think I am qualified to discuss what is being seen by these world record holders, what they might have missed, and how they were able to use the knowledge they found to get the scores that they got. We are starting off today with the good old Geowizard. Geowizard is one of the most popular YouTubers who plays GeoGuessr, and he recently submitted a run that would put him second on the non-moving high scores for solo non-moving on a diverse world 3.0. This is that run. Five countries, 5 pretty easy guesses. If we start right away, he's going to be talking obviously about the leaderboards.
More long term in my head. 2, 4,
and we do
7,
get
1. No
somewhere
movement.
around here.
Here we go.
The first round. Right away, obviously there's a cut because he does the intro and then he plays a bunch of rounds, stitches them together, so we know that. We know for a fact that's how it works. The first thing you're going to see is the front of a vehicle as well as yellow license plates. There's a better clue than this, but from the image we get when we first load in, we know it has to be Ghana. 100% has to be Ghana. I believe it's a few seconds in, he does pan and show the rest of the vehicle.
Okay.
And right away,
Ghana, I believe. Look at that.
He states it's Ghana.
Patchworked car. That's hilarious. So Ghana it is.
And then here's where he pans. And there's the tape. This is one of the most easy or simple things to figure out you're in Ghana. If it's on the front right part of the roof rack, which this is where it is, it has to be Ghana. There's only one other place that uses tape on their roof rack, and that will be in Reunion Island. It will be on the right rear side. So same side, but one roof rack further back, and that's how we are able to tell the difference with just the tape on the roof rack. The next goal here is to find the name of a town.
Roof rack.
Luckily, he zooms in on the first billboard that he sees, and it just so happens to tell him not only the city he's in, but the suburb. This is incredibly lucky. Not every single sign will have this. The odds of him finding it were probably like 10 to 15%. He found it and he was able to use it to his advantage. If you look at it, I believe he zooms in a little bit further.
Right.
We have Ginase and KSI. KSI is Kumasi. It's the abbreviation for Kumasi. And Guinea-Sai, I'm probably butchering that, so I do apologize, has to be the suburb of Kumasi in Ghana. The only problem is not every suburb on the map is located where it's supposed to be, which I do believe he finds out when he guesses. He does miss it first when he starts looking for it. It's down here, and he just doesn't see it for whatever reason. This time he does find it, so he probably lost a minute and a half while looking for the suburb. And then obviously choosing the wrong spot of the place because these suburbs are not in the correct spot. There's not much he could have done about that. He does get the region correct. He would have had to search everywhere for a road that matches as well as the businesses that match. So for what it was, it is a very good guess. He could have saved a minute by recognizing KSI and not missing the suburb name when he first started looking. That could be attributed to streamer or YouTuber brain. When you are recording or streaming live, for some reason, half of your brain just stops working. That's the best way to put it. You miss the obvious town names, you miss the obvious clues. So recording and then kind of pretending that nobody's watching is definitely one of the best ways to go. But being one of the biggest GeoGuessr YouTubers, he continuously has to talk because he has to make it entertaining. So it's very difficult, and I can see him probably getting better scores when he didn't record. So Ginase is probably a lot closer over here.
Will do me fine though.
This location, we're going to start off right away. The landscape, the mountains, and the feel, it definitely puts it in the Mediterranean area. That does include Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, some parts of France, Croatia, Albania. You get the general idea. That general area. When we look at the rest of the clues, we do have language. Language is incredibly helpful. It does tell you what it can't be. And then his webcam is blocking the license plate, but I believe he does pan.
Look at this. Yeah,
it's somewhere in here.
On the plus side,
and we can see that they don't have EU plates.
Very
so the lack of an EU plate with a Mediterranean feel, there's really only one country it can be.
Place in Montenegro that I
and it
think that
is Montenegro.
And that is this area here.
So he immediately zooms into what is pretty much the correct area. I don't know if he recognizes the general feel, because it does have these palm trees. It does have these mountains in the distance. But it's almost confirmed to be Montenegro because of landscape, license plates, and language. So those three alone, super helpful. Being able to zoom in on the right region, it's possible that he's been here before, either in GeoGuessr or in real life. You could use your personal experiences to figure things out like this. And it's definitely helpful, especially if you do travel the world. Yeah. Luckily, he does zoom in on the right area. He does guess the correct bridge.
Wait a minute.
He does see the correct hotel. So everything kind of pieced together for him.
Could be Rissam.
And he does get a very good guess off.
Or Rissam Fall.
And here's the hotel.
Excellent.
So Hotel Tuta and Hotel Tuta. He knows he's in the right region.
So
easy, simple guess. Very, very lucky, very
awesome.
fast.
5 yards.
2 thumbs up.
What a lovely round.
Right away on this third round, he does immediately point out the flag right here, which is the Sri Lankan flag. The Sri Lankan flag isn't actually as common as you think it would be. The more common thing is to see the car itself. If you have this red blurb on the right-hand side of the car, it is Sri Lanka. Now, the Sri Lankan car isn't everywhere, but you can find it in most places in Sri Lanka. The flag itself, while it does represent the country of Sri Lanka, will not be found on every building. He luckily finds one on a building. If we continue to look, these signs right here, the white and red arrow, as well as the black and white striped pole, you can find in Sri Lanka. So just another thing that points out that it is, in fact, Sri Lanka. I believe he gets a very lucky guess here. Sri Lanka doesn't just have a single mountain. There are mountains throughout most of Sri Lanka. That's what happens with islands and bodies of water. There is the language on the sign. That is very Sri Lankan. Let's skip forward a little bit. He finds a mountain. It's the only named mountain, and so he guesses near it, which isn't a bad play, but that doesn't mean it's the only mountain in Sri Lanka. And he just luckily happens to be, I think it's like 7 or 11 miles away from, I can't even pronounce that mountain name, to be honest.
I'm just going to go for it.
7 miles.
Come on.
So, very lucky guess by guessing the only named mountain in the area.
Away.
So, does that mean you should guess near this mountain if you see mountains? Probably
I've
not.
gone too far away, really, haven't I?
It's better to look for other clues as well. The fourth round,
I'm hoping that we can,
I believe, is the Philippines.
Is the score. The record for this, by the way.
The first one we have, the first sign we have, he's going to look at these names over here. These names over here are Spanish. Spanish-sounding names with English text, which is on this sign right here, as well as these posters, which most of the time are political posters, very Philippine. Now, there's 2 ways most people go through and look at things. So we have names here, but this is the name we kind of want, Mahipon. So Brigi Mahipon, that's what's important here. We know it's the Philippines. So most people, when they start to look through a country, if they don't recognize the name, they either start at the top of the country and they work their way down, or they start at the bottom of the country and they work their way up. Obviously, for larger countries like the United States, Canada, and Brazil and Russia, you can't really do the north to south or the south to north. It's kind of better to do an east-west or west to east. But with the Philippines, because it is an island chain, it's better to work your way from the north to the south or the south to the north. Luckily, Geowizard starts at the north and starts working his way south, and it happens to be located near the north of the country.
Surely this is...
So he saved himself plenty of time in looking around. Now, if we do look at the road, you can see the cement roads. Now, cement roads aren't only in the Philippines. You can find them in some places in Southeast Asia.
Right
but
around.
It is a good clue. We can see the back of a black car, which is also a very good clue. And you can tell that we're driving on the right-hand side of the road, which immediately gets rid of Indonesia and Malaysia, which were other options with the back of a black car. So it has to be the Philippines in this situation. There's no question about it. Luckily, he does find it relatively early on
I shall begin searching
when he starts looking for it, but he does not go to the right spot.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a
So
city then.
here's Mabuga, right? I believe he saw Mahipan.
Shit.
But there's Gapan City, which is located right
so
down
it's not
here.
necessarily a city then. Is that where we are then?
And as we continue to look, I believe he ends up being like
It's by no means a city.
10 miles off
kind of
or something
relieving.
along those lines. Maybe it was 2 miles
It
off.
doesn't look like a city. So here we go. Please be the right place.
And here's Mahipan to the south.
Mahipan.
So 3 miles, sorry. 3 miles off. If he would have found the
Okay.
town name of Mahipan, which doesn't show up from a distance, he would have obviously guessed there and would have been correct. And that's honestly what's
I'm
important.
glad.
And then we go to the last round,
Everyone...
which he spent the most amount of
Okay.
time on. Right away, this is Mexico. It's Mexico for a few reasons. Number one, we have these octagonal poles. Now, these aren't only found in Mexico, but they are found in other places in Latin and South America. We do have white license plates, which means it can't be Colombia. And we do have the Spanish language, which you could see kind of over here. There are other places when he does pan that show the Spanish language. So there goes Brazil. The fact that we have the octagonal poles with a Spanish language leans us more towards Mexico. The Dominican Republic is out because the Dominican Republic uses yellow plates. Guatemala is out because Guatemala has a roof rack on their car. So we're honestly left with Puerto Rico, which you could see the antenna on, and Mexico here. Luckily, he does find a regional name and a town
We're
name.
on 19,
However, he doesn't
9,
recognize
4,
it right away. So he could get second
I
place.
can get second place here.
So let's skip ahead a little bit
Know it.
until he finds it. So right here, it says Chiapas. Right here, I believe he mentions it. And here's where he mentions Chiapas.
Chiapas.
So Geowizard doesn't recognize it at first. Chiapas, or Chiapas, is a region in southern Mexico. It's close to Guatemala. In fact, I believe it borders Guatemala. If he would have recognized this as a regional name, he wouldn't have spent the next approximate 5 minutes in game time looking for it. Because he speeds it up, I believe it's only 2 minutes. But he probably spent about 5 minutes looking for this as a region. He eventually finds it somewhere. All I know is that he does find it eventually. There are also town names listed, and he's able to do this. So this is where he's looking for the Chiapas region. And wonderful music, I do say so. And as he finds it, right on the border of Guatemala, the Tabasco region, and the Oaxaca region, being able to find that, he now knows for a fact he's in this region. And it comes down to finding the correct town name, which
Chiapas.
does take quite a little bit of time. So we're going to skip forward a little bit.
Okay.
But it honestly comes down to perseverance.
Get it.
If he didn't take the time to search for that town name, he would have never gotten a second place victory. Which does end up with the end of the video. He does end up getting second place. In fact, if you go to geotips.net right now, from the release of this video, he is in second place. You can click on the link and watch the entire video for yourself. But that's going to be where I call it for the day. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully this insight gives you an idea of what meta things to look for, and hopefully you can get better in the end. But I've been King Maff. This has been Geowizard's second place, no moving record, and I look forward to seeing you guys all next time when we examine a video that might have been cheated. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and bye-bye.